you all hear me? Oh, I haven't even started yet and I'm getting applause. No. So, can everybody hear me up the back? Yay, not nay. Okay, great. So, hi, as Kevin said, my name is Rebecca. I'm a fellow here at BIDS. I'm also a PhD student in the statistics department. And I'm going to talk to you guys today for 5 minutes about an R package that I made called Superheat. So, Superheat is all about heat maps. And for those of you who don't know what a heat map is, it's a way of visually representing a matrix of numbers, usually a large matrix of numbers. So, for example, here on the left we have an array of numbers, and on the right is a visual representation of those numbers where I've chosen to have like a dark blue correspond to a high number, and a light blue correspond to a low number. So it's just much easier to kind of detect patterns and stuff like that. So heat maps are really, really useful for all kinds of data, but they are, at the moment, mainly used in bioinformatics. Basically, in bioinformatics, people are really interested in identifying regions of the genome that are correlated with each other, or genes that are correlated with particular diseases, and they use heat maps to kind of investigate these kinds of relationships. However, the heat maps that they make look like that, and it's pretty ugly. It's really kind of like noisy and messy, and the colors are horrible and not colorblind friendly. Sorry, everyone who's colorblind. But yeah, so basically, like, there is a lot of room for improvement, both in terms of aesthetics and in terms of how to actually make them. The typical implementations in R are very chunky, like they're hard to use and hard to customize. So that's where Superheat comes in. So basically, Superheat is an R package that I developed together with my advisor, Bin Yu. It's basically a way of implementing Superheat, implementing heat maps in a really kind of easy to use and pretty way, as well as adding extra things that you couldn't do before. So I'm just going to walk you through a super quick example to do with my own research, which is to do with organ transplants. But basically, this heat map shows the number of organ donations per 100,000 people in each of these countries, and for each of the years from 2006 to 2014. And the countries are ranked in order of most to least organ donations. So you can see Spain is the clear winner. They do a huge number of organ donations relative to, for example, Sudan. But this is like pretty informative, but you can also ask a question, okay, well, how is the overall trend in organ donations changing over time? It's kind of hard to tell. Like, is it increasing? Is it staying the same? So maybe what I want to do is add a line plot that shows that. So at the top, I've added the total number of organ transplants, organ donations, aggregated over all of those countries for each year. So I can see, okay, that's really cool. The trend is increasing. Again, what if I also want to ask, does organ donation relate to anything? For example, I might ask about GDP or something that's kind of similar called Human Development Index. And a lower Human Development Index means that the country is kind of like better in that sense. They're doing better in terms of human development. So we can see, okay, so the countries that seem to have higher rates of organ donation also seem to have a lower HDI index. And that's really interesting. It's not surprising, but it's interesting. So yeah, this is just an example. It's very easy to implement. It's pretty. You know, you can change the colors. You can change everything. So I posted this on Twitter a few months ago, thinking, oh, you know, it's fine. My friend Kelly will like it. And within a few days, I had like hundreds and hundreds of retweets and likes. So I was pleasantly surprised that people actually find this really useful, and people are really nice about it, except for Hadley Wickham, who decided to critique my plot a little bit and told me, you know, it'd be better if you changed the text a little bit. But hey, at least he took note of it. Other people were a lot nicer, and this was a few days ago. I saw someone just kind of posted something that said, you know, this is the best thing to come to R since ggplot2. So take that, Hadley. So yeah, people are using it. People are excited about it, and I'm constantly making improvements. And there are a lot of other examples on my website, and I have a paper that is now linked here. But yeah, so it's open source, all on GitHub. If anyone wants to check it out or ask any questions, I'm the Australian girl with the blonde hair, not wearing shoes. But yeah, come find me, and thank you guys for listening.